This is a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Alachua County, Florida, to protest State Bill 1834, House Bill 1557, which is detrimental to the health and welfare of LGBTQ youth and their teachers. And whereas the Parental Rights in Education Bill, also known as the Don't Say Gay Bill, states that lessons about sexual orientation are banned outright in kindergarten through third grade, and prohibits lessons in other grades unless they are, quote, age appropriate and developmentally appropriate. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners in Alachua County, Florida, as follows. 1. The Board finds the Don't Say Gay Bill is detrimental to the health and welfare of Alachua County youth and urges Governor Ron DeSantis to veto the bill. 2. Alachua County is committed to supporting and nurturing the mental health of our residents, with particular emphasis on our youth and the LGBTQ+ community. 3. Alachua County will not ignore anti-LGBTQ+ harassment or treat it any less seriously than any other form of harassment. 4. Alachua County supports teachers and their right to discuss relevant subjects and support their students' health and welfare. 5. Alachua County believes our county's diversity is valuable and must be embraced and protected. Our children need to be taught understanding and acceptance of others. We strive for a community where all are welcome, irrespective of age, color, disability, gender identity, gender expression, marital status, national origin, race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation.
My name is Derek Paul, and I am with Protect Kindergarten. You may prejudge me and see that I am a white male who has been married to my wife now of 16 years.
Turn around right.
With 3 children.
There you go.
However, I identified as trans and gay growing up in the school system. And if I had been medically castrated, I wouldn't have my 3 children who are Native American. And so I'm very, very grateful that we are honoring my children today, because they would not exist if what is going on now in the public schools had actually happened to me. And the truth is, we all need to be given a choice and to be allowed to change our minds. I am a local expert. I'm an occupational therapist and a former professor of neurological systems and disorders at the university. I'm qualified to state that gender training in the lower grades is harmful to children. I implore this commission to check your bias. The Parental Rights in Education Act is the real name, and it's an anti-grooming bill for those students through 3rd grade. Trans people do not need to be sterilized to be happy. I didn't believe that this was happening in our county until it happened to my 5-year-old son 2 months into public school. He described a book read to him that horribly confused him about everyone else and reality. When my wife and I attempted to investigate what happened, we were put on a wild goose chase as professionals all covered their tracks. When my wife went into the library, she saw a slew of propaganda LGBT books marketed to the youngest elementary grades. This is child grooming. Books like this are unnecessarily divisive when put into the hands of children, yet child grooming adults became defensive. Fact, many groomers are in denial. Gender grooming is happening here. The schools were never health and wellness clinics, and they are not responsible as such. The suicide rate, you're right, for children has tripled, but only as gender grooming has increased. And what's really sad is our girls that are girls at conception are the highest amount of suicides. There is an effort to convince straight kids that they are possibly gay or trans if they are insecure in their masculinity or femininity. This is inappropriate, and this is why we are seeing these higher suicide rates. This is also why we are seeing false positives in LGBTQ with detransitioners last weekend, letting their stories be known. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair and esteemed commissioners, my name is Matthew Aaron. I'm Pastor Matthew Aaron of Big Fish Ministry. I am representing Protect Kindergarten. I'm speaking against the resolution today targeting the Parental Rights and Education Act, which has been mislabeled the Don't Say Gay bill. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I was introduced to pornography and sexually abused at the age of 6 by my brother. I'm a survivor of sexual, mental, and physical abuse, rape, physical, and verbal bullying in high school, yet I am so much more. Give me lemons and I got a food truck. I'm a former SeaWorld animal trainer, so I fought off killer whales. I'm an author, missionary, advocate, Christian, and former gay man. Big Fish Ministry helps LGBT people find freedom from homosexuality and hope in Jesus Christ. For 22 years, I have ministered to the LGBT community. I didn't get out and leave. I minister to those people. I love them. I protect them. I've helped them move out of abusive relationships. I've rescued them. I've sat and cried with them. I prayed with them. I'm not a pastor and a Christian who walks away from that community. I love the LGBT community. I was gay for 10 years. Jesus led me out of my gay life. That was my choice to do. I'm not forcing that choice on anyone. I love Jesus. Jesus loves the LGBT community.
Amen.
Jesus also loves children. When Jesus' disciples tried to prevent children from coming to him in Matthew 19:14, Jesus said, "Let the children come to me. Don't stop them." Romans 13:1 says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God." I believe that you guys have been empowered to make a decision, a tough decision, protecting our children. I oppose this resolution proposed today. You can't call this form of child abuse protection and enlightenment. It seems leaders are quick to identify abuse as abuse unless it ruffles the feathers of the LGBT plus community. The resolution you are proposing opposes a bill that favors keeping age-inappropriate sexual information out of classrooms up to the 3rd grade. The Parental Rights Act, as it's known, protects children who are not mentally and emotionally equipped to handle sexual and sensitive information. The Children's Trust of Alachua County website says this: April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, a time to celebrate good things our communities do to promote healthy child development, support families, and help prevent child abuse and neglect. Parents, as esteemed commissioners, and Madam Chair, let this resolution be failed today because it is an attack on the protection of our children and child abuse. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I have a granddaughter who just turned 6 and is in kindergarten. When she comes and sits in my lap for Poppy to read a book with her, she is working on sounding out the words and word recognition. She is developing a love for knowledge and adventure through reading. She is extremely smart and a great conversationalist. However, she is not ready to be introduced to questions about sexual and gender identity. This commission is about to vote on a resolution to protest the Parental Rights in Education bill. You state that it is detrimental to the health and welfare of the LGBTQ community, youth, and their teachers, and on line 11 indicate that they cannot be singled out for negative treatment. However, this bill's opening words are parental rights in education. It goes to say that it aims to reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding upbringing and control of their children. It doesn't say anything about hating gay people. This bill actually states classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Florida lawmakers contend that parents should be broaching these subjects with their younger children rather than educators. The measure would not bar spontaneous discussions of sexual orientation or gender identity in schools, but instead is intended to prevent districts from integrating the subjects into their official curriculum. One silver lining from the pandemic has been that parents got to see, many for the first time, what their children are actually being taught. To be clear, this bill is aimed at protecting children. What does it say about the Alachua County Commission that they are outraged at being unable to sexualize and degender little kids? Yeah. This bill passed the House with a vote of 69 to 47 and passed the Senate with a vote of 22 to 17. Yet for the crime of trying to protect our young children from sexually explicit material in the classroom, Florida legislators are being crucified by the media. Those of you who receive your news from the mainstream media may not have any idea that the bill does not mention the word gay or homosexuality anywhere in it. It merely keeps sexualized topics out of the classrooms of kindergartners through third graders. The title of this bill is Parental Rights in Education. What is so terrible, outrageous, and hateful about teachers not talking to little children about things they cannot and should not even understand?
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
I urge you to reconsider this resolution and embrace this law as it protects our children.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you. Next speaker.
Yes, I am Dr. Elmer Hansen. I'm a resident of Alachua County. I've taught mechanical engineering at the University of Florida for 19 years and subsequently worked at engineering practice for 22 years. I'm with the Protect Kindergarten group here. I have 13 grandchildren. It's apparent that this resolution is a half-hearted attempt to make a political points. We live in a rigorous academic community that's interested in truth. The resolution has absolutely no documentation from the professional side, such as pediatricians. The American College of Pediatricians is located in Gainesville, and no one from the county has documented their professional position on this. The resolution should be dropped just on the basis that there's no ground for which it should stand academically. HB 1557 is based on well-understood science. From one of the articles from the American College of Pediatrics, science has finally caught up with the empirically based common knowledge that cognitive maturity is not fully developed until the age of 21 to 25. Modern sex education materials could only be processed cognitively with judicial, evaluative, mature minds, not by the immature, obedient child learner. Indeed, it's arguably criminally irresponsible to pander sexual stimuli to juveniles during the time when their brains are desperately trying to figure out and wire up the complex body of knowledge, especially sexuality. Wiring pathways in children's minds using photos, cartoons, textual descriptions of genitalia is criminal, often obscene. And that's the end of their quote. You have not considered the outcome of sexually grooming juveniles. Some people know that they want to practice and what practice grooming and what to produce. And I'm quoting from LGBT Nation, drag queen, Little Miss Hot Mess. It can be fun and games, but it's also a way of reconfiguring the world in a way we want it to be, unquote. The configuration will be harmful, and you know it. Support the House bill. The resolutions say LGBT youth cannot be singled out for treatment. This is not the case in the bill. The bill states that all parents need to be notified of procedures related to their children. You realize that the conversion ban bill that you said a number of years back basically does not allow exactly what the House bill is not allowing. It doesn't allow, it says that you shouldn't be able to change anyone's gender. So young children in school should not be allowed to have this plethora of genders placed before them. That's exactly what you said, and now you're allowing it.
Thank you, Madam Chair, County Commissioners, other leadership. I'm here with Protect Kindergarten, and the testimony I share today is with great love for the LGBT community. At the age of 7, as an elementary school student, my peers and my teachers recognized some effeminate qualities in my life and began murmuring gay before I ever even knew what they were talking about. And before I could ask my parents what they were talking about, these words were planting seeds in my mind and in my heart. You know, the Proverbs 18 says the tongue has the power of life and death. So the stakes are really high here. They're really high. Our words can either speak life into somebody or they can speak death. Our tongue can build others up or they can tear them down. From that point on, from 7 on, I was struggling with gender confusion and then moved into homosexuality. And after nearly 20 years engaged in gay relationships, I found myself in ICU on life support, following an AIDS diagnosis. For 24 days, I fought a real battle between life and death, heaven and hell. That is the truth. And it was on March 22nd, 14 years ago today, that I flatlined for 22 minutes. And I experienced a soul separated from God. So I believe in all my heart that if I had intervention by having an initial gay discussion with my dad and mom, things would have turned out very much different than they are today. I mean, who loves you more than anyone else than your dad and your mom? You know? Who is there for you and who has your best interests at heart? Your dad and your mom. As a husband now, a father and a grandfather, I'm committed to vocally supporting parents' rights to be the first line of defense in the lives of their children. With that, I respectfully voice my opposition to this resolution.
Thank you. Your name, please, sir.
Mark Nelson.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson.
I want to emphasize to each of you, well, I should say I'm a resident of Alachua County. I've completed graduate work in early childhood. I'm a mother to 9, grandmother to 13. And I want to emphasize, in giving voice to this lobby, these resolutions are taking away the voice of parents. There's a trade-off here. And trying to create school mandates to follow regarding sex education for kindergarten, these resolutions are taking away their innocence, which cannot be recovered. The Hippocratic Oath sums up as stating, "Do no harm." This commission is not here to offer medical or educational advice, but they are obliged to seek it out to make decisions that will affect each and every child in this county. The best source of wisdom in this world gives a promise to those seeking wisdom. Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." I just observed before the meeting, Ms. Alford assured the television camera crew over here that the commission is unanimous in your support of this resolution to protest HB 1557. Did I get that right, Ms. Alford?
I expect that there will be a unanimous vote, yes, but you're supposed to address the chair, not me.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. That's my observation. So those of us offering remarks are not here today to help you decide, apparently. We have to change your mind. When did you all agree to protest HB 157? One box that's in this question number 1. And number 2, who supplied the original resolution list? Whereas. I guess it might be Miss Alford since she read it for us.
We'll answer those questions for you in a little while.
Thank you.
My name is Nelson Plasencia. First name Nelson, last name Plasencia. I am here with Protect Kindergarten. I am a pharmacist. That's how I pay my bills. But I also function as a pastor. Pastoreo la Iglesia Refugio y Restauración. It is a bilingual ministry. It basically translates to Refuge and Restoration Church. My wife and I went through the process of becoming foster parents with a local partnership. And midway through the process, after we had already put the child fence for the pool, we had changed the deadbolt, we had changed the water temperature, we're complying with everything, but during our interview, something came up. And the questions became very pointed, and they had to do with the issue of transgender children and homosexuality. And they asked us what we thought about it. And so, of course, being a pastor, I couldn't lie. And the Bible says it's not right. But we will receive any child that you want to place in our home, and we will love them just as much and just as if they were ours. Though that answer was not enough, their desire was that we would affirm and encourage children that express these different ideas. And I said, well, let me clarify this. You mean to tell me that if a child tells me that he or she identifies as a dog, you want me to put a leash and take him for a walk around the neighborhood? Or if that child identifies as a kitty cat, you want me to go ahead and feed him cat food and leave him outside, because our cats don't go inside the house because we have a child that is allergic to the cats. While I was in college taking biology, one of the professors said, the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. He always said that the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. And now as an adult and a grown-up, I'm just realizing, you know what? The family unit, the nuclear family, is the functional unit of society.
Amen.
A sister was here just a little bit ago, and she said that the rabbi told her it's not in the Torah. But I beg to disagree. It is in Torah, it is in Tanakh, and it is in the Brit Hadashah. Somebody suggested that the role of government, and I respect what you do, and I don't envy you one bit. The role of government, simplified, is to promote, permit, and prohibit. Promote that which is good for society. Permit that which is neutral, and prohibit that which is dangerous or harmful. And I suggest that our role will be here to promote that which has proven success for thousands of years throughout history. And that is the natural family unit composed of mom, dad, and children. So God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity. And again, one more time, thank you.
Thank you for coming. So you do have parental choice. But you're naive to think that your children that young do not know what this world is about. And so I would appreciate it if you would think about it just a little bit in terms of what you're, and to the benefit of your children, the little ones that are sitting on your lap right now, give them credit and give them the benefit of the doubt, because these kids know more than you think they do. They just may not feel comfortable sharing that with you. And that's a loss for you. So in any case, like I say, as a public school teacher, retired in 2016, with a son who is out there teaching in the public schools right now, you all need to be paying attention to what's happening, not so much in the schools, but in your child's life. Okay. Any other comments from the commission? All right. We're ready to vote on this bill, this resolution
Madam
now.
Chair.
That we've.
If you were to answer my
No.
two questions, you're not going to do that?
Oh, the question she had.
Yes. Well. Okay.
Yes, I wrote the resolution.
This is the first time I've heard this issue.
Okay, I was just asking. She was assuring the crew that there was unanimity.
Okay. Excuse me, Commissioner Putzia.
Well, the reason probably is because we voted unanimously to refer this to staff in order that they write the resolution and bring it back to us. So the fact that there was unanimous support for the resolution to be written, I believe, gave her the indication that we were interested in this, in supporting the resolution.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Correct, Madam Chair. I was going to state that the board directed staff to unanimously to draft this resolution.
Thank you for reminding me.
Which I was heavily involved in.
Yes. All right. All in favor of the motion for the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right, that motion passes unanimously to forward this resolution. All right, thank you. Thank you to everyone who came to speak. It was good to hear from all of you.